Okay, now we're working on case 1B, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about the formatting. If it's challenging for you, if I highlight cells A8 through A15, hold down my control key, and I want A18 through A25. I also want to indent rows 29 through 33, and income before taxes and income taxes. I just click the indent button once, and that's all done all at once. When we talk about adding a prepared on current date, so on row 3 in cell C, I'm going to type prepared on colon, and I'm going to make this cell right justified. And then this one is going to be left justified, and it's my lovely formula for now. If I make it a little bigger, it'll fit. This should not take you very long to fill in because the cells are formatted the way they need to be, so you're going to be adding in percentages and a couple of flat dollar amounts and go from there. Item number 5 on the top of page 3 talks about the assumptions about base period sales values. This is the only formula, as it tells you, in this assumptions section, and it's going to simply be equals the previous year's sale plus, I'm going to open my parentheses, it's the previous year's sale times the growth percentage. And then I can just copy that over, and theoretically, when you get to 2020, your sales should be $4,842,091.80. So let me give you a little hint to get you started on this. When you get to step 6, it tells you under step 6A, make sure you use the absolute, relative, and mixed cell addresses as appropriate. So let's see. For deli sales, we know from our assumptions section that deli is 5% of sales. So it's going to be sales, absolute, right? But is it absolute column and row or just row? Just row times, and it tells me it's going to be 5% of sales. Again, is this absolute, relative, or mixed? This is going to be, let's try absolute and see what happens. If I copy this down, do I get the right number? No, I don't, so something didn't work right. I know that dairy is 19% of sales, canned goods is 10% of sales, and so on. So I haven't done something correctly, and it's no big deal, just fix the formula. Now again, I want the column to be absolute and the row to be relative. So if I do this formula right and copy it down, I will get new values for the whole thing. And this total should be equal to my total sales, which was 4 million. I'm on a good start. So I'll leave you to work on these relative and absolute cell addresses, make it as efficient as possible. And a reminder, on the very last page of this handout for Excel Case 1B, Maxie's Grocery Mart Part 2, are some basic calculations for the pro forma income statement. It talks about where you're going to get these numbers from. I've done everything here down through wages, and then common costs, that's where you're going to use the if function. And it tells you here that if there's a profit, then Leroy's salary is the profit, gross profit, times the percentage that he gets paid. So if there's no profit, he doesn't get it. So we're going to construct an if statement here under common costs. Cool. If, open parentheses, it tells you what's the logical test. The logical test is that this cell is greater than 0. If it's true, what do we want to do? We want to calculate a value of this times the percentage rate. If it's not true, it's going to be 0. Now you see that my calculation did work correctly, but I don't have my relative and absolute cell addresses correct yet to be able to copy that over. So I'm going to leave you to figure that part out, and I'll be back with you in just a moment. So the first part of this, step 7, talks about the what-if scenarios. We did that in the tutorial, so that shouldn't be any big challenge for you. But we're doing something a little different here under item D. Instead of the Add button, we're going to pick the Summary button. And it tells us the results cells of B7 through G37. Now I can either type those in, or I can do this by clicking this little box, and I can highlight B37 through G37, and that's typed for me. And we're going to tell it OK. And we have this lovely little report that shows if we change our current sales value estimate is 4 million, we can change it to 2.5 million, up to 6. It will show us by year the different results that we would have. And that's it for this exercise. Hopefully it went pretty smoothly for you. I look forward to seeing what your work looks like.